Hey guys, thanks again for tuning back into our YouTube channel. Here we are, Easy Fix Organista Tech, the Samsung S9 Plus this time, guys, going through the ringer. As you can tell, it is a little bit broken. So they wanted us to replace it for them. How to remove the back plate without damaging it. We're going to go through it step by step, show each and every one of you how to do that. You'll need a little suction cup to remove it. And you also need a adhesive tool, or a little thin piece of metal. Not a spatula, because they're too thick to use. First, you want to start out heating it up on a hot plate for about 3 to 4 minutes at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you can tell, you barely lift up with the suction cup and slide the adhesive tool in just enough so you can get a guitar pick. We use guitar picks here because the soft plastic will not damage the glass back cover. As if, like I told you, with a spatula you'll run into a bigger chance of breaking or cracking the back to it, which you do not want to do. You can tell right here, guys, we're sliding the guitar picks in. And just like any other Samsung device, you'll want to go around the edges of that with a guitar pick only. And if you need to, guys, heat it up a little bit at a time and keep going around the edges with a guitar pick. Should come apart really nice, separating the adhesive from the telephone and the back cover. Just keep the guitar pick going around and around motion like you're walking it up. Add other guitar picks if you'd like to, guys. That way it keeps the adhesive from sticking back and closing itself back up. Right here is we're almost there. You got to disconnect the actual fingerprint, guys, from the it stays connected onto the back cover, but you want to disconnect that. Don't rip it off. Whatever you do, guys, be really careful right here. You barely open it where you can see inside of it, nothing else. Yeah. So we stick a couple more guitar picks under it. Be really careful. Don't forget, heat up the back cover as much as you need to, guys, to make sure that the adhesive comes apart really easy. Here we have the back cover completely removed. There, right there, is the fingerprint button. So you want to really be careful, guys. Please do not rip that. They're hard to come by. You'll have to replace it if you do. It being a new device and everything, you want to be very careful. As you can tell, right there's the fingerprint, guys. Alright, so right here we're going to be taking the screws out all the way around the housings. Removing each one carefully. Thanks again. Subscribe to our YouTube channel here, Organista Tech, if you would, guys. Share, like, comment, make any kind of comments you'd like to below. We appreciate everyone for participating in views, and hopefully we're getting some information out there to you guys that's going to be helpful for all your repairs at home or in your shop as well. Remember to remove that SIM card tray, guys, before separating the housing from the actual battery and the logic board and all that. Taking all the screws out of the bottom of it right here. Just take that black cover, the plastic cover, off the top first, then the rest, just like so. Removing the wireless charger and all that. Then you want to remove the bottom cover, which is covering the charge port. That's what we've done right there. So if you would, disconnect the battery before disconnecting anything, like always. Always remember that's first, guys, the battery. You want to kill that supply of power. Alright, so here we go in disconnecting each thing off of the logic board. Be really careful not to damage those antenna wires, because you will need to replace those back onto the device here a little bit later on. Couple of screws holding the logic board down there, guys. Be careful with your tweezers, not taking any of the components off of the logic board, because that will damage the device, will not be useful afterwards. Carefully lifting up, not ripping any of the connections, because those flex cables are kind of brittle sometimes, guys, and you have to be careful with that. Doing the same thing down here, taking the screws out of the charging port. Here's the new LCD assembly that we ordered. Check our links, guys, because you can, we have all the information in our links. You can always order through and get your parts and everything. Just check our links, click on them. It should take you right to the right part that you need. So here we go. We got to remove everything off of the actual housing of the telephone and transfer it over to the new housing assembly. So here we go, guys. Absolutely removing everything. That way the antennas and everything and all the connections will be correct. Everything will be correct, guys. The logic board will not heat up as long as everything is transferred over properly. If not, you have a chance of heating the logic board up and actually causing damage to that. So be sure not to forget anything. Every little component counts. If it did not, would not have it on it, just to help keep it running sufficiently fast, clean, and green. Alright, guys, so right here we're going to take the charging port out. Being careful not to rip, being careful with the tweezers not to take off the components, just like so. Placing it onto the new assembly. Press down firmly. Do not bend anything that's not supposed to be bent. One other thing, guys, if you haven't noticed, the actual new assembly is dark color, almost black. The reason being is because our client wanted a cheaper part than the original color. The original color is actually more expensive, so they wanted the off color, and we made it a little bit cheaper for them, explaining why it's going to be cheaper. Only difference is the color is dark. So here we are taking the battery off, guys, about to transfer it over. We want to put a little bit of adhesive on it right there. It should go down really nicely. Now we're going to connect the logic board to the charging port. Be careful of the battery flex cable. Push it up and around the logic board. That way you don't rip it off or anything like that. Be careful with that connection. Don't mash the logic board down on top of it. You'll need that out to reconnect to the logic board. And now just go around making sure everything is reconnected onto the logic board. The camera's back in right there. The other little camera's back in. Like I said, just go around making sure everything is connected well. As you can tell, the color difference, the blue versus the actual black looking, as we explained. So here we go, guys. We put the screws back into the logic board. Now we're putting the little covers back on. We're going to flip it on right here in just a few more minutes. And remember guys, doing this repair, it's not going to be waterproof anymore as well as it was from the factory. Remember guys, if you do want it waterproof, continuing to be waterproof, you'll need to send it back into the Samsung factory and get that repair done by them. We're closing it up right here guys, being really nicely going back together. And here we go. Very nice. Very nice. Comes on. Everything looks nice. Good response, guys. Remember to subscribe, guys, and smash that like button. Thanks again. Have a good day.